Hi, it's Marie, and it's the end of the year, which means it's time for my annual book unhaul. At the end of every year, I go through all my books, I take stock of what I have, what I haven't read, how likely I am to read what I haven't read, because sometimes I've lost interest in something. And then from all of that, I put together a collection of books that I'm going to be donating around Christmas time, which is now. Um, it uh, it varies how many books I donate every year. Last year I had a very small box, only a single box. This year I've got 3 full boxes. I did a count and I think I'm donating about 46 books this year, which is great because I've definitely acquired more than that, so hopefully it's all going to even out. Um, and I thought I would not take you through all 46 of those books because I'll be honest, most of them are just books that I've lost interest in as time has gone by. But I've been very brutal this year because I really need to clear some space. So I am getting rid of books that I've loved in the past, some books that were gifts, but I mean, these are all books that even though I've loved them, I just can't see myself reading again in the future. So there's no point hanging on to them. I might as well either give them away to friends or donate them to a local secondhand shop, and they'll go to people who actually do want to read them. So these are just some notable books that I'm getting rid of this year. Some of them might be interesting to you as well. So the first book is The Anthropocene Reviewed by John Green. If you've been following along with the blog this year, you will know that this was the book that I buddy read with my friend Serial Hobbyist. It's a collection of essays written by John Green about things that are centered around the human experience, I suppose. I didn't enjoy this book. I went into it with high hopes. I thought I was going to really enjoy it. And I did in the beginning, to be fair, but as the book progressed, I lost interest. I think it was really badly structured and it needed a bit more focus. In the end, I gave it 2 stars. And I am never going to read this book again. I don't even want to hang on to it. I didn't enjoy it at all. It has got all my like highlights and notes and things in it. So I'm donating it with all of that stuff. But you know what? Some people are into that. And whoever picks it up, even if they're not, hopefully they'll grow to enjoy my snarky commentary in the margins. But it's not my problem anymore. Okay, the next 2 might surprise you. Don't freak out. I am donating Red, White, and Royal Blue and One Last Stop. Don't be scared. So this is actually my favorite book, Red, White, and Royal Blue. But this is my original copy. And I have since acquired new copies of both of these books that are just nicer. One Last Stop, I only need 1 copy of, so I don't feel any need to hold on to this original one. Red, White, and Royal Blue, I have, as I said, 2 new copies of. And they're nicer hardcover special limited edition versions. And they've been re-released. So this version has some Harry Potter references in it that Casey McQuiston, the author, decided to replace and remove for subsequent reprints, because they don't want to support J.K. Rowling, which I fully understand, and support myself. So I'm not getting rid of this version because of the J.K. Rowling Harry Potter references. It's just that when I reread this book in the future, I'm more likely to reach for one of the nicer versions. And so there's no point, I feel, hanging on to this one. I hate this cover as well. I think it's really ugly. I like the pink, but the illustrations have always bothered me. So I thought I would donate this one, and hopefully someone will pick it up and love it just as much as I have. This one is a bit special because it's got a sticker in it that I got in a unplugged book box. And And this one, in fact, even has a signature sticker in it. This is the One Last Stop. So they're a bit special, but I don't need these copies, and in the end they're just going to take up space, especially if I reread them and I'm just going to be reading other versions. So better to give them away and make space for new books that I will hopefully love in the future. I'm also donating my set of Hunger Games books. I loved the Hunger Games when they came out. I can't even remember when that was. 10 years ago, maybe? Less? I don't know. But I loved the Hunger Games. And I still think it's a great story, but I don't think I've read them or even opened them since Mockingjay came out, and I can't even remember what year that was. So I don't foresee myself reading these in the future. And you know what? Even if I do want to read these in the future, if the urge strikes me, it's the Hunger Games. Like, they're not hard to find. I could probably go to my library and pick up some copies, or even get the ebooks if I really feel the need to own them. But they take up a lot of space, and I've already filled that space with other books, so better to get rid of these. In fact, actually, I think my brother wanted to keep them, so I'll probably just give them to him and borrow them if I want to read them again, but I don't think I will. I didn't read that President Snow book, the Ballad of Songbirds one. I just wasn't interested, so it's sort of a shame to get rid of them, but at the same time, once the thought occurred to me, it didn't even occur to me to second guess the decision. So I think that's a sign that I'm ready to let these ones go. I am also donating Only a Monster by Vanessa Len. This one pains me a little bit because I only bought it in October. But I made the mistake of not sort of reading the first couple of pages or flicking through it in the bookstore. It's a YA. The characters are, I think, 16 to 19-ish, but the writing style is, to me, it feels a lot younger than that age, and that's a shame. I think it's a really cool premise. The main character, whose name I can't even remember at this point, Joan, is a monster instead of a hero, and I don't know, she gets involved with this boy called Nick, and I think he's a hero, or he's like part of a family that's supposed to fight monsters. I don't really know. The premise sounded really cool. I did give this one a second chance. If you watch my book haul video, you will know that I originally tried to read this while I was very hungover. Didn't have much success, but I did give it a second go. I gave it a few more pages, and it's just, I don't know, it's not working for me. I don't think this is a bad book. I think this is just one of those YAs that I've outgrown the writing style for something like this, which is a shame. I don't read much YA anymore. I do occasionally if they're written by authors that I already love and I'm established with, or if there's something really interesting that the book is trying to explore. Sometimes I'll pick them up, but I was hoping this one would be interesting with the monster premise, but like I said, the writing style hasn't worked for me, so it's a bit sad because the cover's so nice, but if I'm not going to read the book, I'm never going to look at the cover, so there's no point keeping it. So this one has to go as well. I'm getting rid of 3 Becky Chambers books, so that includes Record of a Spaceborne Few, The Galaxy and the Ground Within, and To Be Taught If Fortunate. To Be Taught is a novella that isn't related to any of Chambers' other books, but Record and Galaxy are books 3 and 4 respectively of the Wayfarers series, although these two I think work better as standalones. So if you're not going to start from book 1, I feel like you could pick up one of these two and it would work out just fine for you. Book 2 definitely, I think, needs to be read following book 1, but these ones I think are alright. I really like Becky Chambers, although, I don't know, I didn't love the novella. I thought it was really interesting in what it was trying to do, but I wanted more. I think it would have worked better as a full length novel. So I read it once. I think I gave it 2 stars, maybe 3. But I'm never going to read this again. And to be honest, I don't really remember that much of it. Of the 2 Wayfarers books, Record, I enjoyed, I guess. I think I gave it 3 stars. But there was something about, I think, the characters that I didn't love. I didn't hate them, but I just wasn't that invested, especially compared to the characters in books 1 and 2 of the series. So that was a bit of a shame. Book 4, Galaxy and the Ground Within, I tried to read a couple of months ago. I ended up DNFing it. Again, it was just, I didn't love the characters in this. And even more so than in book 3. The characters in this one, I just didn't connect with at all. I didn't know why I was supposed to care. And the rest of the premise just, I don't know, there were things about it that felt quite contrived, or like they were trying a bit too hard, which was a shame. I wanted to stick it out, but then I noticed one day while I was reading that I was actually just skimming, and I thought, well, if I'm not going to read it, there's no point keeping on with it, so I DNF'd it. So that is a shame. But I know other people who've loved these books, particularly Record of a Spaceborne Few, I know is a favourite for a lot of people. All 3 of these Becky Chambers books I'm giving to a friend of mine who has not had a chance to read Chambers yet. So hopefully she will enjoy them more than I will, or more than I did. But yeah, getting rid of some Becky Chambers, which was a surprise, but again, saving space. I'm donating, oh, these are chunky, 2 Sarah J Maas books. They're both in the Crescent City series. This is book 1, House of Earth and Blood. Book 2, House of Sky and Breath. House of Sky and Breath came out this year. I was very excited for this book because I read House of Earth and Blood in 2020, I think, and I was wary going into this because I enjoy the ACOTAR series by Sarah J Maas. I think it has a lot of problems. I think there are a lot of things I would change if I was writing or editing it. But it's one of those series that I don't need any brain power for. I can just sort of switch off and it's entertaining. I don't need it to be perfect. So going into this, I wasn't quite sure, especially because I don't love the Throne of Glass series. I tried to read Throne of Glass, the book 1, 3 times. I couldn't finish it. So this one I wasn't sure how I was going to do. But I really, really enjoyed House of Earth and Blood. I thought the world was interesting, the build-up was great, the characters were really cool. The mystery around Danica and what was going on with her was really engaging. I ended up giving this 4 stars, and I was shocked. So when House of Sky and Breath was coming out, I was so excited. This was one of my most anticipated books of the year, and I hated it. I thought this is one of the worst books I've ever read, hands down. I can't believe so many people love this book. It has no structure, it has no focus. The characters are whining about stuff that they don't need to whine about. Like, they could just solve their problems and they'd be fine. Some of their problems aren't even problems. They're just bitching about stuff that they've brought on themselves. Also, Hunt and Bryce have no chemistry. I have no idea why they love each other, why they claim to love each other. Lust is not love, and it doesn't make for a solid relationship. I read, 1,600 pages about those 2 characters. I don't know why they're interested in each other. So I wrote a whole review about this book. I'll leave it linked below if you want to get more of my thoughts. Um, yeah, I had a lot of problems with this book. I didn't like it at all. I gave it 1 star. And I'm DNFing the series. I hated this book so much that I have to get rid of the first one as well, because there's no point hanging on to it anymore at this point. So that's where I am with these. Great thing about getting rid of these books is that they're very chunky and they take up a lot of space. So I can fit a lot of books in the space that these two were taking up. Hooray. It's not all bad. I'm getting rid of the Land of Stories series and the prequel trilogy, A Tale of Magic. These are middle grade series by Chris Colfer. They're about twins, Connor and Alex, who are given a fairy tale book, and it's magical, and they fall into the fairy tale land where all the fairy tale creatures live, and then have to try and get home again. Including both series, this is a total of 9 books, and I loved these. I thought they were so fun. They have, first of all, gorgeous covers. The prequel trilogy also has this amazing cover art, which is just glorious. And they have really sweet illustrations at the start of every chapter. So they all have little illustrations at the start. I adore these books. I read them in my 20s and 30s, and even I was entertained, and these are for like middle grade kids, like I said. I think ages around 8 to 12, depending on reading age, or you could read them with your child as an adult and help them out with it. They're very funny, a lot of fun, and also the prequel trilogy in particular, I find deals with a lot of quite adult topics, but through a lens that kids can understand and comprehend. So I thought that was very clever. I think Colfer's writing was always entertaining, but particularly in the later books, I think has become very good. So if you're looking for a fun trilogy or a fun series for your child, definitely check out these. It pains me a little bit to get rid of these because, like I said, they're so gorgeous, and I have all 9 of them, and they're all hardcovers, but they do take up a lot of space, and I don't think I'm going to read them again. But I did enjoy them while I had them. However, I'm giving all 9 of these books to my cousin's oldest child, so hopefully he'll enjoy them, and we'll get to keep them in the family. Yeah, so this is a hard series for me to let go of, but I don't know. I'm never going to read them again, and hopefully they'll go to someone who will enjoy them going forward. Last but not least, I'm getting rid of the Wayward Children series of novellas. These are the first 5 as hard covers. I have the 6th book as... No. I had the 6th book, didn't like it, so I donated that one last year, I think. The 7th book I enjoyed more, but I have that one as an ebook. I'll probably get the subsequent books as ebooks as well. These ones... I don't know, I thought a lot about whether or not I should keep these, but to be honest, I don't think I'm going to read these anymore either. Although there are some that I loved. Down Among the Sticks and Bones, which is book 2, I think was my favourite one. I really loved this one. Also loved In an Absent Dream, which was book 4, I believe. This is basically a portal fantasy about kids and teenagers who are having trouble fitting into their real world lives and end up finding doors that they go through and take them to mystical, magical, sometimes scary worlds that are better suited to their personalities. and they're really well written. I really enjoy them. I think the earlier books are stronger than the later books, but book 7, which was the latest one, I thought was a real return to form. So I have higher hopes for the end of the series, but we'll see how we go. Anyway, like I said, I wasn't sure about whether or not I should keep these, but again, I don't think I'm going to reread them. And they do take up a bit of space. So it's a shame to get rid of them, especially because I love these covers so much. I think they look really nice, but again, there's no point keeping a book just for the cover. So they've got to go. I am giving 2 of these away to my friend Beck, because she's missing 2 of them. So at least those will go to someone who actually wants them. And that's it, I guess. Like I said, there are a lot more books that I'm getting rid of, but these are just some of the more interesting ones that I thought I would show you. I really enjoy getting rid of books, especially at the end of the year. I like having clean, reorganized, neat shelves, especially going into the new year. It means I can get things ready for all the new books that I'm going to get next year, whatever those may be. We'll see. So I hope you enjoyed this, I guess. Maybe there were some books in here that surprised you. Maybe not. I'm guessing some of you picked some. Cough, House of Sky and Breath, cough. Thank you for joining me. I hope you're having a great day wherever you are, and I will see you next time. Bye!